Hello, everyone. This is Mr. Wilson. I am your student's sixth grade teacher, and this is our weekly update. I've decided I wanted to just do weekly videos so you guys can have an opportunity to hear my voice. Um, so, with that said, what have our students been learning? This week we covered multiplying fractions. We spoke about in language arts story elements, which are the setting, the characters in a story, the plot, the resolution, which is how a story concludes. We've also continued with figurative language, which are similes and metaphors, hyperboles, um, personification. For history, for the first 5 weeks, we're going to be covering early human history, or what is known as prehistory, which is essentially history before men learned how to write. And for science, we're covering a unit that discusses the human impact on Earth in regards to pollution, the use of natural resources, and things of that matter. Next week, we're going to actually still be kind of continuing with story elements. I'm going to introduce a short story with the students titled The Jumping Tree. I really enjoy this selection because the main character is entering middle school with these thoughts in his mind about how can he make a great first impression, which is something that all of our students go through, even if they're learning from home, is how to make that great first impression. We will still look for figurative language that is in the selection, but we're going to be putting a lot more focus on the elements of the story and the central idea, which is what people do to impress others. I also think that's pretty important because as our students begin to start sixth grade, they begin to care about what others think about them beyond the people that are family members. And it's good that we speak about how not to allow peer pressure to lead you to make certain decisions. For math, we are going to be covering dividing fractions. Now, this past week, we went over multiplying fractions, which a strong percentage of our students had some idea how to do. Dividing fractions goes hand in hand with multiplying fractions, and for some students, they will pick it up really quick, and for some students, they may struggle. But the key word for them is going to be reciprocal. They're going to have to be able to understand that word and how to utilize the meaning of that word to solve problems. So we're gonna cover that Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. On Friday, the hope is that I will be able to give them an assessment to see how much they've learned of the material. If you notice, I did not mention Wednesday because our students will not be um, they will not be at school on Wednesday. We're doing a staff development for the entire district, so the students will be free to do whatever chore you might have for them to do. I am leaning towards not having any work for them to do on that Wednesday because they typically would not work on a staff development day. And I don't really see the purpose of giving them work for next week on that particular day. For history, next week, we're going to be covering four big ideas. And the reason why I call them the way that I teach history to your students is I put emphasis on things that they can tie to their own personal life or things that they see around them. I don't really spend a lot of time speaking about dates or even sometimes certain people because the students aren't going to remember the names or the dates. And it's more important to me that they understand the importance of why. So next week, we're going to be discussing the first recorded account of humans using art to express themselves. That's pretty big because, as you guys know, art is everywhere. The second is we're going to introduce Stone Age religion. It's the first sense of religion that might have been practiced in the human species. The next two are pretty big. One for a personal reason, one for a survival reason. The first one is introducing farming. What was farming? How farming allowed for human species to start to develop communities as opposed to being nomadic where they followed food. And the last one is the domestication of dogs. As we all know, we love our pets and nothing more than dogs. So we'll cover those four in history. With that said, I also forgot to on Monday and Tuesday, backpacks. Our district has ordered backpacks for every student, and if you haven't already picked up a backpack for your student today, which I'm recording this on Friday, August the 28th, next Monday at 9 o'clock, I want to say 9 o'clock, you can drive into the campus. You fill out a small card that only asks minimal information, which is your student's lunch number and your student's name. And you will receive a backpack. And inside of the backpack, there's a binder. There's a few things that they can use to write, some colored pencils, some paper, some graphing paper. Uh, and on Tuesday at 5 o'clock, you will be able to also come and pick up a backpack. So you have one of those 2 days. Now, does your students have to pick up a backpack? No. But we do have a backpack for every student because we're trying to make normalcy out of what isn't normal. Beyond that, grades. So I have been collecting in my trusty binder all of your students' work, and I'm going to spend this weekend and Monday putting grades into the grade book. If you notice that your students are missing an assignment and you want them to get it turned in, I will accept late work. And for the first quarter, I've decided I'm not going to penalize students for turning in late work. The most important thing is that they're turning in the work. So as long as they turn it in, I will accept it when it comes. If you find that your student is behind, I can be reached by email. Just send me a quick email and I'll respond. I typically speak to the students first because I want to get them used to being accountable for their own actions and being accountable for turning in their schoolwork, because you know as well as I do, as they become older, more emphasis is put on them. So I try to start that process of them being accountable for completing their work and me speaking directly to them. I'll use a phrase with them a lot where it says, your mother and father already have a home. They already have a job. It's what can you do to put yourself in a position where you can be also a homeowner or own a car. And that's what the schoolwork is about. So I try to drive that home to them a lot. Uh, if you have any questions in regards to the schedule, their work, or just any general questions that you may have that I might be able to answer, please do not hesitate to send me an email. If you send me an email and you still want to speak in person, if you just give me your contact information, I'll try my very best to give you a call as soon as I receive the email so we can discuss whatever it is that may be on your mind. So with that said, this is Mr. Wilson. Uh, I'm about to leave. I'm going to tell you I do enjoy your students, and I thank you for staying on top of them and making sure that they make it to those Zoom meetings and that they're completing their work. And I can't wait to have them physically in our classroom so I can really begin to build those relationships with them. So that's it. Hope you have a wonderful weekend. Goodbye.